Calhoun.
Here.
Fournier.
Here.
Crop.
Here.
McGarity. Rick.
Here.
Yor.
Okay. Commissioner McGarity did let me know that she will be here in like 10 or 15 minutes, so. All right, we'll move on to public participation. This is the portion of the work session that we welcome the public to address the commission if you would like. We ask that you come to the microphone, give us your full name, residential address, and abide by our 3-minute rule. If anyone would like to address the commission at this time, come on up. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to, well, we have a presentation from the MSU Extension Program offerings, and she's not here yet. So we will maybe flip-flop and go to city business. Does anybody have any questions or anything right now for, yeah?
I've
I'm sure.
got one. So the House is, there's a bundle of bills that went to the, out of committee and probably go to the State House regarding preemption of local zoning ordinances with the idea of those being a major barrier to increasing housing stock.
And affordability, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know if the commission would be interested in some kind of public statement along the lines of not supporting the bills as written and encouraging the state legislature to do meaningful coordination and consultation with local elected leaders to develop a sustainable plan that will simultaneously make it easier to increase housing stock while not stripping fundamental control from local residents and their elected representatives, or something like that.
I like it.
Because ultimately, for what I've seen from these bills, is they just throw zoning out the window, more or less, when it comes to residential areas, and are lacking in some pretty specific areas that any consultation with an elected leader would have been able to tell you, like a minimum parcel size of 1,500 square feet, not house size, minimum parcel, or
Yeah.
maximum parcel size, I apologize, of 1,500 square feet. That's a third of a basketball court, and you're supposed to fit the house, the driveway,
Yeah.
the yard.
It was minimum, right? That,
So,
yeah.
yeah. You cannot have a minimum parcel size more than 1,500 square feet. So functionally a maximum. Well,
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, I
No.
thought that was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Other way.
Other
yeah,
way.
Yeah, other way. I'm saying it wrong. Also, there is in House Bill 5531, there's one that I was particularly concerned about where if the applicant, the person trying to develop something, requests or causes a material change in the scope of the approved site plan, the local unit of government could not require additional studies or documents unless reasonably necessary to evaluate the impacts of the change for purposes of code compliance or demonstrated a material public health or safety concern. And the local unit of government could not request additional studies or documents to impose new or additional requirements unrelated to the change. That part makes sense. And it sets a 60-day timeline from whenever the first review is done, which there are times where that's going to make sense, but there are times where it's not. And again, this is, for me, doing a one-size-fits-all from Lansing without any meaningful consultation with local elected leaders is something I think we should oppose and instead encourage the legislature to conduct meaningful engagement with, I don't know, people that do zoning when reforming zoning ordinances, just to make sure they're not making sloppy mistakes, as well as not functionally penalizing municipalities that are doing the things they need to do to increase housing stock. So for me, I'm
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I-
not a fan of these bills
Well,
as written.
you three, meaning you three, all served on the planning commission, so you understand the important role it plays. Probably
Absolutely.
best. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think that I actually thought maybe it might be a good topic at one of the meetings at Capcom, that what is going on with this and.
it'll definitely be one of the talking points that we
Yeah.
cover to our representatives, yeah.
Well, I can definitely put something together for the next commission meeting. I mean, we did have a conversation with one of the elected officials, and they didn't think it was going to go anywhere, but you never know, right? We've
Our
heard
state
that before,
representative, yeah.
so.
Given the mention of it during the
State of the
governor's State of the State, I am getting more nervous about it getting traction without meaningful input from folks that could make it less bad.
Yeah, I think that there was, if I remember correctly, we got so many like, emails from both MML and SEMCOG on it. I wonder if it was, I think it was MML where they were gonna put together some kind of verbiage that would have, something a little more, concrete or exact of the language in terms of what they wanted, from municipalities in terms of supporting local control and local, did they ever put anything together? I don't remember seeing,
So
not a sample.
MML's been kind of going like full spectrum, like anything they can get from anyone. They've got their My Home program, which is like a worked out, like, here's zoning best practices and here's a way you could incentivize.
Yeah, so they didn't
using
put
it.
like a resolution together that municipalities could pass.
I don't
didn't
think there was
see
a
anything.
draft
Okay.
resolution that I saw.
Okay. We'll have to look for it.
Yeah, I did see the Michigan Association of Counties came out against this also, which, great.
Did you see the Planning Association came,
No, I didn't.
they did not come out against it, they supported it.
Wow.
Yeah, the Planners Association, so I was very surprised by that, the Michigan Association of Planners. Actually, when we got word of that at that press conference at SEMCOG, and I had heard a lot of other municipal leaders who were saying that they were gonna go back to their municipalities and encourage people to cancel their memberships to MAP.
Did they explain the rationale?
Not that I saw, I
Okay.
mean, yeah, not that I saw,
That's
but I
something
didn't,
wanna look up.
but that, I didn't look it up, because I did not come back and ask anyone to, to cancel their membership.
I have noticed the Mackinac Center making a concerted effort on Facebook, but the number of comments and reactions on anything they post is in the single digits, so I don't know,
In support or against?
in support of the bills.
Okay,
They are indicating a belief that this would drastically, let's see, most recently they said, legislators can't do much about the cost of supplies or, construction,
right,
labor,
yeah,
but this is something they can do to lower the costs, is the most recent change to the narrative they're pushing via Facebook.
it was interesting, one of the points in the SEMCOG, press conference was that there's nothing that's showing any kind of data that points to this would affect affordability. So, that this would, where is it that you're going to save money? Show us that. So, that was interesting. And I don't know if there's been any rebuttal to that from the industry, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll put together a resolution, see what we come up with.
Well, I would, it's probably also worth highlighting how it takes away a community's ability to shape itself. When you run into communities that are dealing with things like historic communities, or gentrification, or a building on land that is going to go into the open market soon, that we want to be able to take months' worth of community input and shape how it's going to be used,
Right.
this would run very much, a lot of this would run very much counter to our ability to take input from the residents and shape the direction of our city.
And unique challenges, right? When you're a community that has 48% of its land is already non-taxable, and then if anybody could come in and put non-taxable housing in without any input, that could be a real problem. I mean, so I think that's, like you said, I've never met too much legislation that makes it a one-size-fits-all that ever really fits anyone. So it'll be interesting. So it looks like we have our speaker here, and I don't want to.
Renee,
Yes, sir.
come on up. So Renee Johnson works for MSU Extension Office, and she'd come in and actually talk to the treasurer about some programs they have. And then that was passed up to me. And so MSU Extension has a lot of programs that are either no cost or low cost, all across the board, really, and many different topics. So you may have seen a few of those advertised on our social media. So Renee was kind enough to come in and speak to us today.
We already have a partnership with Macomb County, so if you go to the Macomb County website, we're listed as an actual department. Yeah. So residents can click there and go and look at the services.
Thank you.
Sign up for the education.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we do have a location in Warren and then one in Clinton Township. And I was here a few weeks ago with Lori Shipman, talking with her about education that we have and the services. So, and I am working with Life Enrichment Services. I see them on Wednesday there's a group of developmental, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm actually working with them, doing a couple of exercises with the group. And so we do have money management, which is our, like the budgeting, credit, disaster recovery, property tax workshop, property tax foreclosure basics, and then the same thing for the mortgage foreclosure basics. We do those both are 1-hour sessions that talk to the attendees about the actual process and how the mortgage foreclosure process happens, how the tax foreclosure process happens. It talks about budgeting and saving and, trying to redo your budget to see if there's dollars there to help you, with your payments. It also gives information on what you can expect if you are just so happen to go through that process, and then some options, whether you want to keep the home or if you want to sell the home. So we talk about those things as well. And we also have, it's a lot of education. There are some adulting 101 classes that's really helpful, and every month there's a different topic. We cover home buyer education, so those persons wanting to purchase a home. We talk about the process of purchasing a home, and then the down payment assistance. And a lot of the banks that you're getting your mortgages through require that you go through the home buyer education. It's a HUD requirement for foreclosure counseling as well with the lenders. So we provide education and services around that. And our classes are free, except the home buyer education class is a $25 charge if it's an online class. In person, they're actually free. But in the case of there's a financial hardship, and usually it's just based on income, you can just inquire and we'll give you a code and you actually can take the class at no cost. So pretty much the classes are free, and you can register online. And it's the home buyer education, a financial education. We also do a lot of agriculture, and then there's a kids program. So there's a bunch of different areas where residents can get some actual education, and some things are in person, and again, a lot of them are webinars that they can attend. And we offer our financial education or home ownership classes throughout the month, so it varies. Some of them may repeat during the month, or maybe the next month. If we miss one, we'll pick one up. So, and it's been very helpful with educating residents on options that they have moving forward, and it's helped a lot of people with restructuring budgets and looking at other ways to save and things to look at so that they can actually, pay bills and pay them on time. And if they run into any issues, then knowing where to go. And we do provide a list of resources, and a lot of them, for me, because I'm working in Macomb, it's a list of Macomb resources. So there's legal aid, accounting, there's where the food banks are. Right now, the bulk of the calls that most of us are receiving are for tax foreclosure and for mortgage foreclosure assistance, and with the understanding that there were dollars available. People are calling looking for those dollars, and those dollars are not available anymore. Those budgets have been expended, and we don't know when and if they're going to be replenished. So what we're working on is the education and then the counseling, and then we also, through that counseling session, once we receive all the intake forms and documents, we can sit with the client and actually call their lender and see if the lender, has any other options, and if the client has not called, then we can kind of coach them through, what to expect and what to ask for. So it works, and I've been a counselor since 2021. I started, so it's all, wherever we are, it's needed. So, and I know, we're working in Macomb. I'm doing the, property tax foreclosure basic classes. We did one for, East Point, and we had 5 attendees to come, and we're thinking that, we'll do more table expos where we go out, maybe before your council meeting, or if you're doing another day of, some other planning, have another event, we can actually set up a table and provide resources there. We just did it at in Clinton Township at the Chaldean Community Foundation. We were just there last week, and there were, from the state of Michigan, about 8 to 10 of the caseworkers there to kind of triage and get people, do the intake, and then have those conversations with the people who needed help. And then we were there with all of our resources for education and letting people know that we have those. And Consumers Energy was there, and the gentleman that has the new development, I forget the name of it. I have it back there, but it's a new development. It's affordable housing. So he was there with, that as another option for housing. So I don't know what other information you may need. We do have, like I did say, we have the agricultural, and let me see if there's some more highlights. So for our counseling services, we do partner with 35 housing counseling agencies. So we're part of that with MISHDA. So a lot of our services, we get dollars. We have dollars from Macomb, we have dollars from Huntington Bank, state dollars, HUD grant. So all of those funds go to fund the services that we provide. And that's our home buyer education, our pre-purchase counseling, which is individual counseling, foreclosure, the individual counseling, like I stated before. We'll do even group education, so if you have a group of people who need education, we can come and tailor a session for them. Rental counseling and education. We have some disaster relief housing counseling and homeless education counseling. We are getting calls for reverse mortgages. That's a specialty. So we refer those to those persons and agencies that have that skill. Those are coming through, and we are in, like I said, we're in Warren, and we have an office in Clinton Township over on Dunham Road. We're over there. And all of our courses, pretty much, if you go to the MIMoneyhealth.org, you can actually go there and register. So it's fairly simple. And we do evaluations post-course. We send surveys and ask, how did you use the service? And they're welcome to come back at any time and repeat the education if they miss something. And we are into March 2nd. So we have our schedule for March. We're working on the next quarter, which is April, May, and June. So if they were to go to the MIMoneyhealth.org, and the schedules will be up for April, May, and June shortly. And most of the courses are 60 to 90 minutes, except with the home buyer education. That's a 4-hour class.
Do you ever come to, like, community centers where you offer the classes
Yes.
at those? Okay.
Yeah, I just went to one of the housing commissions. I had a meeting there. They were coming up with a big event, and they wanted some services there. So we're doing the senior, we have something coming up with the senior alliances. There's all kinds of things. So just let us know if there's a big, community event, and there other folks are gonna have tables there, you can call us, we'll bring a table, we'll bring the resources. We'll do short classes, long classes, you let us know what you need, and, we try to be accommodating, because we do understand that there is a need for it. I mean, it really, really, truly and sincerely helps, so.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are most of your classes a one-time class, or are they a series of classes?
We have one-time classes. If you need a series, we can put together a series of education, so we do that as well.
Okay.
But the bulk of them,
Offered as a one-time
Right.
learning experience. And so when you say the schedule will be up, you'll have places where these classes are going to occur that people can sign up for and come to?
right, if they are in person, it will say on there that they are in person. The bulk of them are, when you go online and register, the bulk of them are webinar classes. But they will show, which individual ones are in person. So if you do need something geared for, let's say you have a group, and we understand seniors coming out, so a lot of times we can do like a lunchtime thing, 12 to 1:30 or something like that. Come in and do, a session for seniors like that. So we would be able to do that. So if they meet on a certain day, we could, show up on that day. In our classes, like we have the make a spending plan work for you. Who gets grandma's yellow pie plate? That talks about, what happens when grandma passes away and everybody's fighting over, what's left. The tax foreclosure basics. How much home can you afford? So maybe prior to going to the home buyer education, you want to kind of understand about how much, based on my income, what can I afford? It is covered in the actual home buyer education, but this is a shorter version. And then we have something for the informed renter. So we try to make better renters, help the landlords in that regard. And then thriving on a fixed income is another one of the classes that kind of goes along with the property tax foreclosure and the mortgage foreclosure basics. Retirement myths and facts, we have that. And top 10 credit tips, some wealth building tips to build and protect your credit. And then there's also savvy tips for starting a small business. And then we have, like I said, the disaster recovery. So there's a,
What kind of classes? I saw the 4-H
Yeah,
youth
so-
development is listed here.
yeah, so that 4-H program has a lot of educational classes. I don't work in that area, but there are a bunch of, like it says here, there's some career preparation, life skills. They do some science type education. There's money management classes offered there. And these are pretty much all ages. I mean, it's mainly, most of these are under 18, because as 18, you're considered, an adult, so, but yeah.
Okay.
And they're pretty good. And then there's also, with some of our health and nutrition, there's cooking classes, there's classes on, food preparation and things like that. So it's, and then the agriculture, there's all kinds of things. Soil, they're gearing up now. They do projects around, the different counties. And we cover pretty much the state of Michigan. There's one of us, or a person that covers the bulk of the counties. So we try to, this is statewide through Michigan State.
Renee, in addition to the classes, are there opportunities for partnership with community organizations?
Yes, we do have partnerships. So we do have one with, like I said, we have one with the county, right?
Right.
And so we're listed on the county's website. We do a lot of county events. The last big event we did was the Macomb Resource Housing Partnership. We're part of that. So I did a presentation there on our services, and I talked about our stats and our numbers of, what we did last year. So we have that, and we're part of that, that Macomb Regional Housing Partnership. So there's regular meetings with that. We work with Deja Butler. She's our contact for that. So yeah, we're trying to cover, wherever we can. And we have some good social media and, the marketing for social media. So when I went to East Point, we set up our table, and actually our contact worked with Juanita Walltower, I think it's her name. She's one of the managers at East Point. So they connected and they set up like tagging the different sites and making sure that our information was getting on to East Point, and East Point had our information to send out to the residents. And, we also did a mailer to all of the assessors and the treasurer's office, and we asked them, here's our schedule, here's what's happening, if you need anything to let us know. So, and I did that's where the call came from with Lori. She was in the first batch of people that received that. So I did come and talk with her, and they're starting to come in now, because we did this right around the Christmas break and the first of the year, so now everybody's back and kind of catching up and getting into the tax season, with the assessments coming out. So our goal is to have those property tax foreclosure basic classes in person, and then we invite the assessors to be there to talk to the individuals that attend. So if there is a big event coming up and you need us there, we can be there as part of the team to have the conversations.
And we've got Renee hooked up with Carl Recreational Days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for all of the information. We really appreciate it. It's always great to know, and then, of course, people will watch the meeting and listen and then be able to
Yes, so,
connect
yeah,
with you
that would be
directly.
perfect. And we do
Yeah.
have resources. When I came here a couple weeks ago, our resources were on your little spin around advertisement wheel.
Yeah.
So I'll take the extra stuff that I have on my way out, and I'll
Put
put
it in
those
there.
there, because that'll be
Wonderful.
good
And
to
if you
have.
keep sending the new schedules, Renee, we've been putting them on
Yes,
social
so
media
yes,
as well.
that would be
so.
perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can get more people in these sessions. And right now is really, really important, because there's, with the budget cuts, the program cuts, the job losses from just the new technologies, AI is outsourcing a lot of people. So it's getting really tough to help people, and everybody's doing the best that they can. But it's really a challenge right now with no funds to help people at least get to a certain point where they're caught up, and then they can move from there. So I'm hoping that the banks will kind of look at what they're doing and maybe come up with some longer terms for being able to pay the arrears on top of what you currently have coming up every month, maybe a longer time to repay those. So I think it's going to be a big effort for everybody to talk to the banks and tell them what the communities need.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. All right. We need to move along to our general meeting here, but is there anyone who has a commissioner's comment?
I'd like to ask a quick question, and
Sure.
you can defer until later, I know we're at.
That's okay, yeah.
A resident asked me for more information about the health and wellness fair that was on social media, but I don't know who to go to for more information on that.
Mickey helps with coordination of that for the Health and Wellness Fair. I know that there's a business owner who also is the main coordinator for that. Her name is Jennifer Gale.
Okay.
And she's the urban naturopath, and she might also be one to, and she has a Facebook page that has her contact info on it, and I can also get it to you.
Yeah, that's fine, and maybe on that post, we could put something with more information or who to contact for more information.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn
Move
the
to
work
adjourn.
session. All right, we'll see you in about 30 seconds. Come on down, guys. He's not, Eric, not feeling well.